Hey, y'all. Welcome to the Reckless Optimist podcast. My name is Megan. I'm a family nurse practitioner with a deep passion for mental health. On this show, we showcase guests who have shown tenacity, grit, mental strength, and who embody the word resilience. A quick disclaimer before we start. This show is not a substitute for mental diagnosis or treatment. We do recommend that if you're struggling with your own emotional well-being, you see a mental health provider. I'm so excited that you guys are here. Let's get into it. Hey, everyone. Today on the podcast, we have Lauren. I met Lauren last year at a race. She is an amazing person. It's funny because a mutual friend had reached out to me that me and her are very similar people. And after doing this interview, I can see why they think that. She is an Energizer bunny, just has this childlike joy about her. It's really, really an honor to have her on the show. I know you guys are going to love this episode. Let's get into it. Hey, everyone. Help me welcome Lauren to the podcast.
Hey.
I'm so excited that you're here. I have to tell the listeners how me and you know each other because it's a really fun story.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So me and you met almost a year ago at a race. We were doing a half marathon, which I just found out was your second half marathon ever, right?
Yep.
Yes. And we were just talking before we jumped on because you were chasing me down. Like you were so close to me. And I was like trying so hard to win this race. And I won and you got third at your second half marathon ever. You got third overall. Like that's insane.
Well, you smoked me, so I just started out too fast.
I've also done like hundreds of them. That was your second one ever. So impressive. And
Aw.
we also had a mutual friend in common who said that me and you are a lot alike. And I'm just so glad we were able to connect like this.
Yes, me too.
Yes. So we're going to start our episode out with a quote like we do each time. And the quote for your episode is anonymous. I've had it saved in my notes app because I just love the quote so much. And it goes, "Your inner rebel wakes up. You're not following the crowd anymore. You're building your own damn path, one aligned decision at a time." What does that quote mean to you?
Actually love that quote. And to me, kind of just like means I was always such a people pleaser and trying to just like fit in. And honestly, when I did get sober, that's when I finally was like, I don't need to be like everyone else. Like, do what makes you happy. Be the person. You have one life. And so that's kind of what it means to me. Like, just like do you and be proud and just happy. I love that. Love that quote. What's it
Yeah.
mean to you?
Yeah, no, I totally track with what you're saying. Yeah, when I hear it, a few of the sentences stood out to me. One is the idea that sobriety is an act of rebellion and like kind of going against the grain, kind of countercultural in a way. I love that. Like that little rebel in me loves that. And the,
Yeah.
the other part that I track with is how it says at the end, one aligned decision at a time. That's what I got back in sobriety was that authenticity and that clarity to make those aligned decisions that I wanted and not some altered substance that was like infusing my thoughts and my behavior.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
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 Well, I'm so excited to hear your story. Before we jumped on, I talked about how I didn't know your story, that you are sober. I know that, but I don't know anything else. So I'm super excited and honored to have you on the show. So wherever you feel comfortable, just take us back.
Oh, yeah. So I went to college and I got my degree, but bartending was always kind of like my thing. I loved it. I had fun doing it, and I kind of just became a career bartender. I am still a bartender to this day. And so it got to the point where I was drinking while working, and so I never really saw a problem with it. But the amount of alcohol I was drinking was a problem. It is what it is. So it got to the point where I was like pushing 30, still bartending in an awful relationship, and I got really sick. I got to the point where my body was shutting down. My organs were shutting down. My body wasn't working. I was hospitalized a couple times, and it was probably like the fourth time that I was in the hospital. The doctor came up to me and he was like, "If you don't stop drinking, you're going to die." And he scared me so bad that I went home and I was like, "Okay, I'm done drinking." I ended that relationship and got sober in the same month. And so it was just kind of like, oh my gosh, the past like 10 years, I had drank for everything. When I'm working, when I'm not working, just everything revolved around alcohol. So I had to learn how to kind of do life again, you know? And it got depressing. There are a lot of ups and downs. I'm really grateful. My family was like very supportive and there for me because I lost a lot of friends. I found new friends. I had to just figure out what made me happy all over again, and then learn how to process my feelings, my emotions, because that was another thing. Like, I would drink if I was happy, I would drink if I was mad. Now if I'm mad, I have to figure out, and I think that's where the running started. I was just like, I have to figure out a way to feel again. Just so I started reading or going on walks, going on short runs, and just moving my body, and I started kind of like getting back to feeling happy again. And then I signed up for a 5K, and that was fun. And then I signed up for a 10K, and then I just kind of just running just kind of took over, and that's like where my life is now. It's just like everything is running, and so the sobriety and the running kind of went hand in hand. I don't.
That's amazing. No, it's so amazing. When I hear you tell your story, you had to create a whole new identity. I mean, you had this identity of pretty bartender, party girl, drinking at work, having fun, life of the party. And then when you realized the implications it was having on your health, you had to create a whole new identity of someone that did not drink. And that is hard to do.
Yeah, yeah. And the crazy thing is, like, sometimes I feel like I lost 10 years of my life. So like now I'm constantly trying to like make up for lost time. Like, you have one life. So just do what's going to make you happy, because I spent so much time just the ups and downs, the ups and downs of drinking. That you drank too much, you made a fool of yourself. You did just now it's like everything is just happy and peaceful and calm, and just like all about healthy lifestyle. That's my life now, and it's beautiful. It is beautiful.
Yes. I love it. I love what you're saying. It's interesting when you're drinking, you have really high highs and really low lows. But then when you
Yeah.
continue to drink and it gets in a unhealthy pattern, you have little highs and very low lows.
Yeah, yeah. And it just kind of turns into a big blur. I look back on my life 5 years ago, and I am just so grateful for my sobriety now, and and what it's brought me to, because I never would have decided to wake up at 4 in the morning to go train for my for running. I would be getting home at 4 in the morning. So that's one of the best things, is like when I'm waking up and getting that run done before a lot of people have even woken up. That's just such a great feeling. Variety and running has just made me such a happy, positive. I feel like I'm just floating on endorphins all the time.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. It's interesting. You see a lot of people in recovery get into endurance sports. And I think it has a lot to do with that feeling of overcoming. You overcame so much when it comes to sobriety that it translates in endurance sports. Each step, you're building that strength that you built in sobriety?
Oh yeah, I completely agree. I guess it's that just like high, because I am stone cold sober, but I feel better than I ever felt when I was drinking now. Some days I'm just like, I wish everybody could get to feel like this like all the time.
When you were
So
younger, did you start drinking at a young age?
so I was an athlete when I was younger, soccer, cheerleading, cross country, but I did toward the end of high school. Like on the weekends, we would drink, not a ton. So I guess that is younger, yeah. And then in college, lots of drinking. But didn't become like a big problem until my like mid to later 20s is when it got like out of control.
So you said you've been sober for 5 years. Is that right?
5 years, September 1st, yeah.
Okay, hell yeah. 5 years is in the medical world clinically long term sobriety. So, welcome to long.
Oh, I love that.
I wanted to ask you about that first year because that first year is really hard. Did you do a program? Did you just raw dog it? Kind of give us that take.
So I just kind of raw dogged it. Um, but I will say, so my parents were amazing. Like, my either mom or dad or both of them would come down to visit. I was very open, but they really were there every step of the way. And the first year was just, it was weird. It was really weird. But it wasn't necessarily like, in my head I couldn't drink because I would die. So it wasn't the same as like someone who just quit drinking. It was a little bit different
Mhm.
of a situation, you know?
Yeah, well, and I can imagine too, it had to be really hard in Savannah. I mean, Savannah is known for its drinking culture. I mean, I've been there when they dye the river green, St.
Yes.
Patrick's Day. I mean, that whole city just screams, everyone get drunk, So I,
And being a bartender in that city, it's game over. Like, it's crazy.
it would be
So
extremely hard.
it was. And I will say I did live like downtown Savannah, and I moved into kind of like it's like the suburb, like 10 minutes from there. So you're not just right in the downtown anymore. So it just said I had a few very good people supporting me, and then actually like my manager at the bar that I work with or work at, she was very supportive, and so I'm grateful for that because like I said, I'm still a bartender. I don't know what direction I want it because I can't bartend forever. Not sure what I'll do next, but I did get my personal training and my nutrition coaching certification. So, I'd like to do something like that. Um,
Yeah, I could totally see you doing like coaching runners or triathletes. I mean, yeah, you have the energy for it and the motivation, you know?
yeah.
I love that. I wanted to ask you a few more questions about your sobriety. So, that first year, what did you discover about yourself like through recovery?
I'm a lot stronger than I thought I was. Um, I I believe God doesn't give you any more than you can handle, and He clearly thought that I could handle a lot because it was a lot of ups and downs. I spent a lot of nights just crying for no reason. I didn't know how to process anything. Like I was a mess. I was in denial. I think I didn't talk about it because I didn't want people to know about it. That first year was ugly. I mean, if I'm being completely honest, thank God for my dog because she just was by my side through. If she could talk, she'd probably be like, "Why is this lady always crying? Why is she happy?" And then I would be walking her crying just for no reason. But eventually it's just like one day the crying stopped. I remember always thinking like, what used to make me happy before alcohol took over? What used to make me happy? And that's when I went way back to the basics of sports because before that, sports was like all I knew. And so I think that's why I've jumped so hard back into it.
I wanted to
So.
ask you a lot of questions about your running because you are an amazing athlete, insanely good. And we had met last year and then I had followed you on Instagram and have been watching your running just grow this whole year. So I wanted to ask, what are your plans? Like what are your ultimate goals in running? Where do you see yourself in sports? Kind of give us that take.
So my number one thing right now is I am trying so hard to qualify for Boston, which I know you qualified, so I'm so happy for you, and I can't wait to follow that journey. But that's my goal right now, and so my qualifying race is in December at Kiowa Island Marathon. And I am just like right now really upping my mileage and just constantly training. So that's my number one. And then if I do qualify for that, I would like to look into doing a half Ironman, which I'm gonna have to get lots of advice from you because I know that's gonna be really hard. And I couldn't even imagine doing a full one, but we'll baby steps.
Yeah.
And then, I would like to do the 7 star, I would like to do all of the big marathons if I can qualify. So, that's the goal that I'm setting for myself, and I'm going to do everything I can to achieve it.
Yeah, that's awesome. I know you're gonna get there. I know with 100% certainty you can qualify for Boston. What is your time that you have to qualify? Like, what's your bracket?
So for 2026, it was 3:30, and then you have to do like the 5 minutes. But I'm assuming 2027, I'm assuming it's probably going to be what, like a 3:25. So I'll have to get like a 3:20. So 3:20 is what I'm aiming for at the moment.
Okay,
So,
totally doable, 100%.
yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, if you get a good course, you do your nutrition right, you get locked in. If everything goes right, you will easily make that, maybe even
Yeah.
faster than that?
I hurt my knee really bad last year, I think just from overtraining. So my main thing right now is trying to not like I was running like 10 miles a day. So now I'm trying to do like maybe two somewhat long runs and the rest like 6 miles. I'm trying not to overdo it because I just don't want to get hurt again.
Yeah. I know what you mean. I see that a lot in people in recovery that get into endurance sports. Sometimes we overdo it. And
Yeah.
I had that experience. I didn't get injured last year, but I have this dream of breaking 19 minutes in a 5K. I have a 1948, but I know I can do it. I just haven't been able to yet. But
You will.
I was trying so hard to beat this goal and doing way too many speed workouts. And I
Yeah.
got overtrained. And then I was bonking all of my races. So there definitely, you can swing the other way if you're not careful.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so crazy because it's like sometimes I just try to like not think too much because I overthink things. And it's just, I mean, running's a lot of a mind, it's a big mind game, but it's definitely, like I said, it can't say it enough, it's my healthy addiction.
Yeah. How has running helped you in sobriety?
It gives me a passion and like a purpose. I just feel like when I was drinking, I just kind of felt like I was like a no, like I was down on myself a lot, and I wasn't really proud of who I was. Now I just kind of feel like I've found myself, and I am true. Like I'm just happy. The crazy thing is, people looking like in from the outside might not think that because I'm single. I have no children. A lot of people are probably like, "Oh, poor her," but like I'm the happiest I've ever been. And so I think it's just the running and the sobriety and just figuring out who I am. And it took me a long time because I think I was just lost for so long.
Yeah, I can totally relate to that. I felt lost for so many years. I wanted to ask you, a lot of people try to figure out like their why. Why did I start drinking? Why did I start this unhealthy behavior? Did you ever figure out yours?
Honestly, I was kind of always like a rebel. And if you tell me not to do something, I want to do it. So, when you're younger, it's like, okay, you're not 21, so you're not allowed to drink, but we're going to do it anyway. I guess I'm still learning, going to try and figure that out. It wasn't like some awful thing happened to me where like I just started drinking to mask things. But I do think I have awful anxiety, and I think maybe that would help calm me.
Mhm.
So that plays a part in it. But
Yeah, I was very similar. I had a very busy brain, very anxious
yeah,
brain. Get stuck in like a negative loop pattern, thought pattern.
worrying about things.
Yes, hyperfixating. Yes. And so
Yeah,
the alcohol numbed that even for a short amount of time. It worked until it didn't work. And then when it worked,
100%. Yep.
and when it didn't work, it was really hard to stop?
Yeah, 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 and that's what I'm talking about now, like, without the alcohol, trying to, like, constantly, like, you have to learn how to process your feelings, and it's like, it's crazy.
Yeah. That was hard. Like learning to even just feel your feelings instead of constantly running away from them. I'm still learning.
Yeah. Well, and I'm running away from them all the time.
Yeah, that is true. However, I will say you process a lot of your problems when you're running. You're thinking,
Oh,
you know?
absolutely. I feel like I fix a lot of things or calm myself down, like, I could be upset or overthinking about something, and I go for my run, and I'm like, "The world's not ending, it's gonna be okay."
Mhm. Yeah.
So
I think you're a lot like me in the sense that we have just natural high energy. And so sometimes anxiety is just pent up energy. And so when you run and you release that energy, your anxiety is well maintained?
yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
'Cause I am, like, much more calm and just, like, copacetic once I've done my run.
Yeah. Yeah. I wanted to ask you about your running because you're so talented at it. Do you follow a training plan? Do you have a coach? Kind of give us that take on how you got to, I mean, you're running fast. You're winning races, you're setting PRs in your 30s. So how did this come to be?
No coach, no, running plan. What I played soccer and ran cross country when I was younger, but, when I played soccer, I was just naturally, like, very fast, like, and they called me kinda like the Energizer Bunny. Running was just up, it just came like, you didn't have to think about it. Oh, but I'm also very competitive. So it's like when I just kind of nonchalantly signed up for like a 5K and then like did well, I was like, well, I can do better than that. So it's just me against me every day. And I'm very hard on myself. So I'm my own coach, I guess, and just kind of raw dogging my way through it.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. So when you were younger, were you as competitive in running when you were younger as you are now, or have you gotten better with age?
So I was competitive with soccer and running was a part of soccer. But no, I was not competitive with running. Running was just a part of my workout. I would be in middle school and wake up before middle school to go run to be better at soccer.
Mhm.
But I wasn't competitive. Cross country, I think, I ran on varsity, but I wasn't like anything special. And I definitely wasn't shooting for PR. I was just kind of there. Like,
Yeah.
so I'm definitely better now.
So when you do the Kiowa Marathon, will that be your very first marathon?
No, that'll be my third.
Your third. Okay. So
Yes.
what's your current PR in the marathon?
Oh, I ran Rock and Roll Marathon in Nashville. Very hilly, and I it was 3 hours and 42 minutes.
That's good though. Really good for your first one.
Well, that was my
That
second
was your
one. My
second one.
first one it was a very small one. It was called Flower Fest Marathon in Callaway Gardens. And I did that as like my practice. I just wanted to like complete it, you know? And I did that one I think in like 3:55.
Okay. Good. Really good. I mean,
I wanted to get under 4 hours. I was trying for under 4.
yeah.
But then for rock and roll, I was like, it was a Boston qualifier. So I was like, let's try and, like, but I just, at mile 19, I had to go to the bathroom. It was awful. It was quick, but still, I had to stop my stride. And then mile 23, I got an awful calf cramp
Oh,
that I had to like move out of the way and stretch. It was just, so it was not my race. I'm just going to say that.
mm-hmm,
And I hadn't been training that well because I had had an injured knee for like 3 months before that. So I
mm-hmm.
was like doing elliptical on the bike to basically train for a marathon. So I'm looking for revenge with Q.
Your revenge marathon. I've had a few of those.
Yeah, I am just praying that it's a happy, amazing weekend.
Yeah, and I think you learned so much. Like, I don't ever call those failures or anything, any of those other
No,
attempts. Like, though,
no.
you learn so much from that experience. You learn about your nutrition. You learn about how to not cramp. You learn about how to set your mind right. Like, everyone that you did is just a step closer to your goal.
Oh, yeah. Rock and roll, I loved. I mean, it was an amazing race. The energy, the people. I'm already signed up for next year. I
Yeah,
can't wait.
that's
but
awesome.
yeah, it was the best. I had so much fun, but I was a little bummed I didn't get the Boston. But I wasn't 100%. I didn't think it wasn't. I didn't go in thinking I was going to get it. I was just hopeful.
Yeah. Road marathons are hard. I've done all different types of distances in running. I've done 5Ks all the way up to 100-mile races, but I stand by a road marathon is one of the hardest things because one, everyone's really intense and it's not always a super fun environment. Number two, pounding so fast on the pavement like that is
Hmm.
hard on your body. And
Oh
then
yeah,
three, it's mentally taxing to hold a fast pace for 26 miles.
yeah. I'm still working on it.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm so excited for you. I can't wait to watch your journey. It's inspiring to see you succeed the way that you
Aw,
are.
thank you. I love it.
That going back to your sobriety that first year, what do you feel like? I love how you didn't glamorize it because I think a lot of people do. And it's not that way for most people. It's messy. It's really messy.
Yeah.
So, that first year, what do you think were like the few things that kept you sober that you did?
My dog, I started going to church, my family, and like a few friends that, like I said, I didn't act like it was an issue. I was putting on a show trying to act like it was no big deal. So just the people that still invited me to go do things and, and I was probably awkward and weird. That first year, it was just messy. It was messy. It was like scary.
Feel like you build so much sober muscle over that first year and like your first concert sober, your first going to a bar sober, first going to work sober, like you build all of this and then with repetition and consistency, it gets easier each time.
Yeah. I remember I think it was 2022. We went on a cruise for Christmas with my family and I remember thinking like, "Oh my god, this is either going to be amazing or it's going to be like annoying." Like me being sober on a cruise because all the previous cruises I've been on, it's just a complete shit show. So, I remember just being very anxious about that. I went and it was the most fun I have ever had in my life. I got the virgin daiquiris every day. I was drinking my coffees. I was waking up and running on the outdoor track. It was incredible. So don't ever be scared to go on a cruise sober because it's fabulous.
Yes. I love that so much. I
Yeah.
I know exactly what you mean. I remember like the first time I got a big dopamine hit just from my morning coffee. And I was like,
Yeah.
this is way better than the dopamine hit I ever got from Pinot Grigio.
Yeah, absolutely. And it tastes better.
Yeah, way better. And then you don't feel sick.
No.
I wanted to ask you, you had mentioned earlier on in the episode about friends. And I think you had hinted to maybe you had to make some new friends. I did too. I mean, a lot of my true friends, they understood and they rallied around me. But some friends I had to cut loose because they, not necessarily that they weren't supportive, but I think I realized that some friendships were built on our relationship with alcohol and not so much on a real friendship.
100%. Yeah. A lot of the friends I had, I wouldn't even call necessarily like good friends. It was just kind of like it's drinking friends and they didn't really give a shit about you. I kind of had to make quite a quite a few new friends, but for the better. And now it's like I hold my standards with everything. Like I want positive vibes. I want good people. I don't want negative anything. And I don't really like to be around sloppy drinking anymore. I mean, I have to be around it at work, but I have a very small circle. I'm not even going to lie. Like I don't have a ton of friends, and that's okay. But it's just I'm a different person now, and it's just not the same.
It's more about like the quality of your friends and not the quantity of them.
Yes, yes. Like, and I will say, I think I used to just I was such a people pleaser. I just wanted everyone to like me, and I wanted to get along with everybody and be invited to everything. And now I don't. I couldn't care less if I get invited or something. I only want to be around people that truly support me and my journey. The
Yeah.
friends thing was definitely, an eye opener, I suppose.
Yeah. It's interesting that you still work in that environment. It's almost like what we would call exposure therapy, so throwing yourself back into the battlefield, if you will. How is that? Like I imagine sometimes it's probably in some ways reaffirming your sobriety, but I could also imagine sometimes it may be triggering.
Okay, so it never triggers. Like especially now, like 5 years sober and seeing just sloppy, it does not trigger. It doesn't even ever make me want to have a drink. But some nights it makes me question what I'm doing with my life. Like, why am I still working in this environment? Because it's just so much, craziness. And my life is so peaceful outside of that.
Mhm.
But at the end of the day, it pays the bills, and it is what it is for right now.
Yeah. And you're like a really good people person. Like you have high energy, you're easy to talk to. So that makes a great bartender.
Yeah.
Bartending in Savannah can be very lucrative. I mean, that's like we were talking about, a huge party city. So,
Yeah, and I try like every night that I go into work, like I try to be positive, cuz there's going to be, people that are in their moods or just too drunk or just get upset, and I try and just like put on my smile and do it, but there are nights that it's very stressful. So you just have to really make sure you run before you go into work
yeah, that's so true.
and just make the best of it.
It's interesting when you get sober, and I never want to come from a place of judgment or self righteousness because I was also a heavy drinker. But when you get around people who are drinking, like, and everyone's drinking and you're the only one that's not, it's like everyone is repeating themselves. No one is listening to what anyone else is saying. You guys,
They'll tell me the same thing twice. Like,
yeah.
yeah, yeah, totally. You just sit there and bob your head.
Yeah, and it's also funny because I used to think that I was so cool, like, drinking, and
Me
now,
too.
like, watching drunk people, I'm like, "I was a disaster. I was embarrassing."
Oh yeah. Yeah. I actually my mom and I were talking about it, and I was like, I don't think I would be friends with the old me. I don't think I would. But I try not to judge. Yeah. Sometimes I do feel guilty like serving people, but like you can't, you have to serve them. So it's just kind of that's the only part with me being sober, feeling like someone has a problem and there's nothing I can do about it.
Yeah.
But I don't ever try and push my sobriety or push anything on anybody. Like I said, I don't really even talk about it that much.
I don't think
Um,
there was anything anyone could have said to me to get me sober, much less that,
oh
if a
yeah.
bartender had said something to me. So I don't necessarily think that is, your job in life, but I think being like a lighthouse and like leading by example, like you're doing now, and
Yeah.
everything that you post and that you're doing, the running, showing how healthy you are, that's where people track and start to observe and follow.
Yeah. I actually started making jello shots for work, and I make half like alcoholic ones and I make non-alcoholic ones for me. So I can like still do shots with people. It's kind of like my little fun thing. So that is kind of cool. People are like, all right, get yourself one of your jellos and give me a real one.
Yeah. Do people know that you're sober? Like, do you ever talk to any of the patrons about your
Everyone knows that I'm the sober bartender,
Okay.
and I'm very because people want to buy you drinks and stuff, and I'm like, nope, nope, but I'll take a jello shot.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
So
awesome. You've made it
yeah.
work. Like, you've made your job, which is highly impacted by drinking, work?
Oh, yeah, yeah, and like I said, I have fun. I try to have fun with it. So it's like any job. You're gonna have your ups and your downs.
I wanted to ask you a few more questions about your running before we get into the lightning round.
Okay.
So, you're running, like, what advice would you give to someone who's just getting into running and, maybe haven't run that long, but they want to get faster? What advice would you give to them?
Don't give up. anything is better than nothing. That's what I am constantly telling people because people are always like, well, I could never run that far. I could never do that or run that fast. I got back into running by walking and reading in my neighborhood. And then I started like, I'd put my book down and I'd run one lap and then I'd run two laps and then I'd try and run one fast, one slow. Like, so just don't give up, baby steps every day. And consistency is key because the speed will come, but you just have to keep pushing yourself. And this time last year I was running like 10-minute miles on like my daily runs. Now my daily runs are like 7, maybe 8 minutes. So,
Wow.
that's just from consistency. It's
Mhm.
not from any speed work or anything other than just running every day.
Yeah.
So just take it at your own pace and like be proud of yourself.
Well, and I also think like for me and you, running is our thing. Like it's in our bones. It's just it's in our like in our body, right? To be a good runner.
Yeah.
And maybe that's not everyone's thing. So like find your thing. Find your thing that you enjoy, that you have
Yeah.
like a little bit of talent in, and then consistently stick to that. And that's where you'll shine.
Yeah, and just have fun with it,
Yeah.
like, you don't have to take it seriously, like, I'm just that person that gets out on the turkey 5K like you and is like, "Alright, let's do this."
Yeah.
But go out there and just enjoy it, like, skip, walk, bring your dog.
Hmm.
That's kinda what I'm always trying to get my friends like, "Do the 5K." I'm doing the half, but do the 5K.
Yeah.
No one ever wants to, but, I always try.
I was going to ask you that too. Do you come from a family of runners or athletes?
So I come from a 5K turkey trot family. Like we always do that. So my dad is big in tennis and pickleball. My sisters were both cheerleaders, lacrosse, and then I played soccer. So we, pretty athletic family, but I'm like the only one still serious about it.
You're the more competitive one. Are you the baby of your family?
No, I am the
You're the
oldest.
oldest. Okay.
So I set the bar very low. My sisters are doing much better in life than me.
I'm sure that's debatable. Yeah, I mean, you're setting it pretty high right now. I mean, with the stuff that you're
Yeah.
doing, for sure.
Absolutely. I try to just be a positive vibes and, maybe I wasn't the best role model in some of my younger years, but try and do whatever I can now to be a better, sister.
Ultimately, like one bad chapter doesn't mean your story's over. 3 bad chapters, 10 bad chapters. Like you can
No.
still keep writing the book, and the book is just
Absolutely.
getting to the good part, you know?
I could not agree more. I'm like God gave me a second chance and I am going to do everything I can with this life because who knows what tomorrow brings. So, judge me or don't judge me. I don't care because my story is nowhere near being done.
Yeah, I love that. I love that whole idea, like, when I listen to you tell your story, like, your breakdown was your breakthrough, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, it lit a fire in you, and it's
Percent. Like that's why for me it's sobriety and the running go hand in hand because I feel like we had to turn the page on the drinking and then I found my true passion and that's awesome.
yeah. I think a lot of people go through life never finding their passion, you know, and that's sad. That makes me sad. I think everyone should really, like, really work on that, finding something that, like, sets your soul on fire, you know?
No, I believe that too. And I think so many people, like, or they have kids or they have too much of a demanding job and they just don't get that. And so that's another reason that I'm like, if I have the ability to like, bartend and then when I'm not working, like live in my passion and like when I just run Disney a couple weeks ago. And as I was running the half marathon through Disneyland, I was like, I am so lucky to be doing this, running in this beautiful, I'm grateful for it.
Yeah.
So
Putting that gratitude filter on your life. I think a lot of people in recovery do that. And that's what makes recovery and sobriety so beautiful.
yeah. Yeah.
How was that Disney marathon? Because I was watching you on your stories, and it was like a double event. Is that right?
Yes, it was a 10K on Saturday and a half marathon on Sunday. And it was truly magical.
Oh my gosh. I know. And it was like a Halloween theme.
Yes, yes.
So fun.
And there were like all the characters out and it was incredible. Like I have never smiled and just like been so happy in a race ever. It was amazing. The expo was awesome. Everyone was in good moods. I loved it. And I was there by myself. I had no one with me, I didn't know a soul and I just was living my best life. It was fabulous.
I love that. I think that's amazing. It's so funny because when I saw your pictures, it came through. Your happiness shines through. I mean, you are just like glowing. Your eyes are glowing, you're smiling. You're like exuding just happiness as you're running.
I know. I was like a child, like at Disneyland.
You get that childlike joy back in recovery and running and those
Yeah.
type of endurance events. It's like a childlike joy that just comes out of you, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Well, I can't thank you enough for sharing your story. We have made it to the lightning round of our episode. So every episode, I close out with a fun get to know you because the listeners get really invested in your story after they hear your story.
Okay.
Okay, so the first question is you're given three options. You have to choose one. Would you shark dive, bungee jump, or skydive?
Skydive.
Okay, have you done any of the three?
I've like snorkeled with sharks and like, stingrays and stuff, but and I have bungee jumped. I did a small bungee jump in Destin.
Okay,
But skydiving is like it's on my bucket list anyways.
okay, all right, I love it. Number two, you're in a simulation. Every time you walk into a room, the same song plays. What's your song?
I love Morgan Wallen.
Okay, yeah. Number three, what's your favorite Disney movie?
Peter Pan, Alice in Wonderland.
Those are some good ones.
Yeah.
I love Peter Pan. Loved it. I haven't heard, no one's
I
ever said that before.
really I have both of them like tattooed on me, like the
Oh my
never grow
God,
up. I was kind of always that forever young child, so
I
still
love
am.
that. I love that. Number
Yeah.
four, what is something you're obsessed with?
Running
Same.
and ice cream.
Okay, I love that.
Yeah.
All right, number five, what does freedom mean to you?
Happiness, like just
Like real, authentic, not altered happiness.
yeah, yeah. And that's like what I have right now.
I love that. I love that so much. Your story is beautiful. It really is. It really touched my soul. I can't thank you enough. Your story will help so many people, and it's truly an honor to have you on the show.
Oh, thank you. It's been fun.
I can't wait to see all of your running times, all of your wins, all of your Boston qualifiers. You're going to kill
Ho-
it.
Hopefully.
I believe in you. All right, girl. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Bye.